Hello and welcome to the Skyfood channel. Today we're starting a new breeding project for probably one of the most famous African mopane worms, edible insects, and it's a species from Madagascar, Antherina suraka. Also, of course, 90% of all species of Madagascar are endemic. Also, Antherina suraka is an endemic species in Madagascar. And not only interesting things to show to you, the L2 stage larvae, but a lot of interesting things to tell you, not only about Madagascar, but also about Antherina suraka. In this video we have a brand new, published 2014 dissertation of a lady from Madagascar. Maminirina Randrianandrasana is the name of her. Very complicated. Sounds like a song, like music to me, this name. She published a very good paper about entomophagy in Madagascar, and especially about the importance of this species, Antherina suraka, that is an important source of protein in this huge country. Also, there are some NGOs working in Madagascar, helping the farmers to develop good farming techniques for Antherina suraka. And of course, you already have seen this book here from Paul Latham, the man who was in Congo, in the Bas-Congo, and recorded all the species he found there of caterpillars that have been eaten in a small community of some towns down there. We're still at the beginning of the research about edible insects in Africa, because there's a huge amount of species there awaiting to be discovered by Western civilization. We're not only talking about mealworms here, we're talking about the things that are eaten already since thousands of years in other continents of our planet Earth. So now first let's have a look at the caterpillars. They are here now, and you also can see that Antherina suraka probably is one of the best species in Europe as edible insects, and it's so easy to cultivate. Why? Because it can eat a polyphage insect, so it means it can eat a lot of different plants, and it's eating plants that are also in Europe, can be found also in winter here in Europe, like Ligustrum ovalifolium that you can see here, or like a cherry laurel. So it's fantastic, of course, if we have insects also in Europe that we can keep outdoors in the summertime, in the winter in a small cultivation breeding process indoors, and this is interesting for urban farming also, of course. And as you know from a lot of presentations from me, I think that insects are the best urban farming animals that we can have. They are small and efficient, and you can grow them everywhere. So let's have a look. Very small caterpillars here, L2 stage. As a lot of this Saturnid mosses, they change the shape and the colors every stage they go through, and that is difficult to give a name only for one insect. That's one of the reasons why the forest people in Madagascar or wherever they eat mopane worms, they hardly ever name a certain insect. They name the host plant that they find the insect that they are used to eat. That seems to be more secure. So here you see them on this leaf of Ligustrum vulgaris. There's a lot of them here. Voila. That's second instar. Third instar starts to be completely green, And if they come now into this box here with fresh Ligustrum vulgare, and then I put everything into this aerarium, of course, so that they can have a lot of food now to go into the third, fourth or fifth stage. And we will try to cultivate them outdoors also in the summer, as they do it in Madagascar on the shrubs outdoors on special nets. We will have a look afterwards. So let's go quickly through this paper, and I propose you that you download it from the internet. You will find it. It's called Antherina Suraka, Ecology, Systematics and Potential Economic Uses to Promote Conservation in Madagascar, University of Illinois. Mostly it's also about host plants that are recorded that can be used for breeding Antherina suraka, about the structural and material properties, mechanical properties of the cocoon, of the silk of this Saturnid beetle. It's an interesting insect also because it is a Saturnid beetle, a kind of a mopane worm that's making silk cocoon, also because, as you probably know, a lot of the mopane worms, they don't make cocoons, they just dig into the soil and pupate there. In short, we can say that it's an endemic Saturnid silkworm. It's as a source of ecologically sustainable income. It's grown there to produce silk, and the pupa is eaten there. And in this work they recorded 10 new host plants that are, of course, also endemic to Madagascar. Yes, Madagascar is a very, very special country. It's 590,000 square kilometers big. That's the size of France. It is the fourth biggest island on planet Earth. It has only 22 million people, and 90% of the people, they earn less than $2 a day. So it's a poor country where entomophagy is therefore important for their well-being. Because the pupae of Antherina suraka are edible, eating or selling them could improve local economies. Entomophagy is not new in Madagascar, where insects have long been part of culinary traditions. 65 species of insects have been recorded during this work as most frequently consumed arthropods, so that insects. And so that's the clue of the whole paper, so that's why I want to read it to you, that most of the edible species were found between October and March. So that's October, November, December, January, so half a year long. It's a very good season for insect, a time associated with the lean season and hikes in food prices. This pattern demonstrates the importance of entomophagy in food security. Rearing selected edible and or silk-producing insects at a marketable level would further improve livelihoods, thus protecting the remaining forests in Madagascar from over-exploitation. Yeah, that's one of the very, very important things, too, that the remaining forests are protected. Yeah, that's the picture of Antherina suraka. Looks like most, similar to like most of the mopane worms from Africa. When we go to the Book of Paul Latam, we see that these imbrasias also, they are also called bull's-eye mosses, because they open the wings to shock away enemies as soon as they are, let's see, as soon as we are looking for them, we don't find them, but here that's the pictures of the caterpillars. Yeah, here, like for example this one. Yeah, there are dozens of species, and also here the caterpillars, they change from stage to stage. Antherina suraka from Madagascar. They also seen that the fibers of this Saturnid beetle, they are glued together in an interesting way, so that they are very compact structures also. So that's the availability a table of edible insects. So you see that from October to March we find a lot of edible insects, and we find the high prices are also close to these months here. So that would be nice to make a bigger market for edible insects, because in this time there is a lack of other food stuff normally, and the prices for food go up in this period. That's a picture of Madagascar. Here there are some places where they have been making these studies. Yeah, this is about the different species, and they are eating there also like cicadas. They are also eating this nest making caterpillars. In this case, they make the pupas inside of a bag, like a structure. What you here see is a swarm of locusts invading a rice field, and of course people use the best way of pest control. They just collect them. They collect the locusts, they dry them in the sun, and of course afterwards they sell them and eat them. Yeah, that's one of the most appreciated forms of pest control, and I think that's the original form of pest control, making food with the pest insects. So also here you see some aquatic insects that are eaten. Also, of course, the larvae of coleopteras, of beetles, are consumed. So here's not named what kind of species it is. Looks, of course, like a big dinosaur beetle. There's also another paper that is interesting to mention. So as we're making an opening session now here for Antherina suraka, I'm telling a little bit more also about a paper. You will find them on the internet also. It's from the NGO Sepali, Madagascar. It's a handbook for rearing wild silkworms to produce silk, and it's only about Antherina suraka. That's interesting because here's the life cycle of the insect. You see, from egg to first instar, 5 to 10 days, then 4 to 6 days to second stage, 4 to 6 days to stage 3, 4 to 6 days stage 4, and same for stage 5, and then 5 to 8 days till pupa and cocoon, 20 days till the moth is eclose, and then after only 6 hours when they have enclosed, they already lay the eggs, because as most of the saturnid beetles, the adults, they don't even have mouse parts to eat. They just lay their eggs, and afterwards they die. And also here in this project it's combined with the techniques that are simple and adapted to what the people have there. Their wooden construction material to make a little hut, some material for weaving a basket, and then the nets around the planted shrubs of the foot plant, also a basket to rear the larvae in there. And here's a summary for it. Also they have interesting ways to organize the mating of the insect. They put some of the pupas in a basket, cover it with a net, and then you only have to wait until some of them eclose, mate, and lay their eggs in there, and then on goes the rearing process. Yes, we have to look for easy ways of rearing these insects, because it doesn't make any sense to make a big machine around a simple natural process. Like, for example, I mean, it's not against this, but like, for example, our aquaponic cultures here, they consist mainly of machines, motors, tubes, tanks, and whatever. Nobody has it in a third world country, and it's not adapted to do in the countries where they really need fishes or proteins or whatever. So that's what they need here in this project. They need appropriate location, plastic pots, soil. They need seeds from the food plant, bamboo branches and coconut leaves to make the basket. And look, that's the material they need. A simple soap without perfume to wash the hands, powdered soap to wash rearing equipment such as nets and baskets, 10 rearing nets for the larvae, 5 pupae baskets for each breeder, 5 cocoon baskets for each breeder, 1 rearing house. That's it. Yeah, if you use the right soap, it's completely organic, produced Antherina, suraka, silk and pupas. Really nice. Let's try whether we can use them as urban farming insects here also in Europe. Would be another discussion about edible insects and only thinking about mealworms, wouldn't it? Let's think about the insects, not in terms of having a look into a pet shop. Let's look at insects for human food as we look into other cultures, where they do it already since thousands of years, like in Madagascar with Antherina suraka.